there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
The man, the myth, the legend. Yup, that's him.
Oh, sugar-ducky-quack-quack.
Just black.
Hey, yo, what's the word? What's the word? Welcome back to another episode of The Cheap Truth with your boy, Justin J. Will, or whatever you want to call me. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope you can hear me real well through your speakers, your headphones, your $200 AirPods, whatever you may be doing right now, wherever you may be listening to this from. I appreciate you for dropping in, checking in on your boy, man, because as always, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you decided to be here with me. So for that, I appreciate it. So on today's episode of The Cheap Truth, we are going to be talking about statute of limitations. And not just statute of limitations, but statute of limitations when it comes to social media posts, man. So is there such thing as a statute of limitations when it comes to what you put on social media? Is there a hard number to put on it? Is there a specific age? Can we still hold you accountable for something you said 12 years ago in a Twitter post or a Facebook post, or even longer than that, a MySpace post? Hey, we're gonna get into it, man. So as always, make sure that you leave a comment. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you give me a review if you haven't already. It would really be appreciated. And let's hop right into it. All right, so the motivation for this podcast actually comes from the NFL. So there's this young lady by the name of Kelly Smiley. Now, Kelly Smiley is a photographer for the LA Rams. And as you guys may or may not know, the LA Rams recently won the Super Bowl over the Cincinnati Bengals. And they had a big old celebration, big old parade. And everybody was celebrating and just having a jolly old good time. Now they had a big celebration, and Matt Stafford was up on stage, and he was drinking a little something, had a little something in his hand, and the photographer Kelly Smiley came up on stage, and she proceeded to fall off the stage somehow, some way, and she actually fractured her spine, and Matt Stafford just kind of looked around and just walked away. And of course, he got a lot of flack for it, even though he wasn't at fault for anything. It wasn't his fault she fell. She just fell. I guess a gust of wind or something just knocked her off stage. But yeah, he got a lot of bad PR behind it. And, a lot of people thought that he should have at least asked for help, or I don't know what they expected him to do. I don't know whether they expected him to go down there and perform CPR or whatever. But anyway, he got a lot of flack for it, so much so that he offered to cover her medical bills. And there's also been a GoFundMe started for her, which has raised over $40,000. Now, just recently, somebody decided to do some digging on Kelly Smiley, and they managed to unearth some tweets from 2013 and 2014 of her using the N-word and using some gay slurs. She also made some derogatory remarks about Asian people. I'm going to read a few of them right here, the clean versions. LOL at these effing Asian people screaming their Chinese language in the library. 1, we're in American, which I'm guessing that's supposed to be we're in America, but that's neither here nor there. 2, shut the F up. This is a library. She has another one right here that says you are a F word, and that F word is the gay slur F word. I almost just got shot in the ghetto because at C Davey 4 wanted to F with N words. She also has a slew of tweets using that gay slur. I mean, she just kind of went on a whole little rant and had a whole little thread with her using that word. So, of course, this changes the outlook on things, right? I mean, this girl is a whole racist and a whole homophobe out you. Now, of course, she has deleted her Twitter and her Instagram, and a lot of people are saying now that she should be fired and that Matt Stafford shouldn't pay her, which I've always been of the mindset that Matt Stafford shouldn't have to pay her jack and shouldn't have offered to do anything as far as the medical bill wise. I get it. It was a bad look. It was bad for him to just kind of like turn away and like just walk away and just act like nothing happened. But at the same time, it was not his fault that she fell off the stage. That's, if the Rams want to take accountability for that and step up to the plate and, do something for her, hey, go right ahead. But to me, I feel like Matt Stafford, he didn't have to do anything. Also, I'm kind of going a little mini rant right here because I've heard some people say that Matt Stafford should, it's nothing to Matt Stafford. He has a lot of money. And I will say, being the Detroit Lions fan that I am and watching Matt Stafford for all those years, one thing he has done, he has made some money. Okay, that is one rich mofo right there. One thing he has done since he's gotten into the league, he's made a lot of money. He was one of like the last rookies to come into the league and benefit from the pre-rookie wage scale. So remember when everybody was coming into the league and getting paid like their first contracts was like $40 million, $50 million guaranteed. He was one of those guys. So he has made a lot of money. But at the same time, it's not his obligation. I hate when people say that crap. Like, just because, oh, well, you got it. It's nothing to him. He's making all this money and it's nothing to him. He can pay her medical bills, no problem. That's not the point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate when people say that. Like, oh, well, you got it. You got it. It ain't nothing to you. Like, no, just because I got it don't mean that you need to have it. And that doesn't mean that I'm obligated to give it to you. I hate people like that. Seriously, I hate people who think like that. But anyway, I digress. So what is statute of limitations exactly? I thought that it would be good to give you guys a dictionary definition. So a statute of limitations is a law that sets the maximum amount of time that parties involved in a dispute have to initiate legal proceedings from the date of an alleged offense, whether civil or criminal. However, the length of time the statute allows for a victim to bring legal action against the suspected wrongdoer can vary from one jurisdiction to another and the nature of the offense. So all that's saying is that you got a certain amount of time to take legal action against somebody for whatever wrongdoing they may have done. And depending on what they did and where you live, that determines how much time you get to take that legal action. So, for example, in the state of Missouri, if you get into a car accident, let's say you get into a car accident in the state of Missouri and the other party is at fault, well, you got 5 years. You got 5 years to take any type of, legal action and to potentially get a settlement for that accident. So does this concept apply to social media posts? At what point does a tweet from 10 years ago affect anything that you're doing now? I think I can speak for myself and everybody that's listening to this recording that we've all had some cringeworthy posts in the past, especially at a young age, whether that be a tweet, Facebook posts, Instagram posts, MySpace, for y'all that remember MySpace out there, Bebo, y'all remember Bebo? I'm pretty sure we can look back and be like, damn, what the hell were we even thinking? Like remember when people used to spell out words, camel case, like the first letter would be capitalized and then the second letter would be lowercase and then they'll just continue to trend and the words would look really funny. Or when people would spell out words using this weird hieroglyphics type deal and you couldn't hardly tell what they were talking about. They'd use all sorts of like exclamation points and stars and @ symbols to spell words out. Yeah, remember, we used to do a whole lot of dumbass stuff back in the day. But, we can look back on it now and be like, damn, what were we even talking about? I remember I had a Facebook post. I can't remember exactly how long it was, but I said something along the lines of, I got more options than a college football game. Now, what the hell was I talking about? I don't know how. I think I probably was in college or something. I don't know what the hell I was talking about. So we all got some type of cringe-worthy social media posts. We used to talk different. We used to spell different. We all got it. So no shame in that. Now, of course, the examples I just gave are a lot more forgiving and less serious than the tweets from Kelly Smiley. Nobody is going to deny you the job you've always wanted because you wrote going to the movies with the bae with at symbols and exclamation points back in 2009. As far as statute of limitations goes, I think it just kind of depends. I feel like it depends on what you said and when you said it. Every situation is different, and I don't feel like there's really a hard number of years or some type of definitive gap that works for every situation. So let's take this story, for example. Let's just stay with the Kelly Smiley example. So I haven't been able to find like her exact age, but according to what I've been able to, based on what I've been able to dig up, seems like these tweets were probably around the time when she was a freshman in college. So unless she's like some type of super genius and went to college at 14 or 15, I feel like it's safe to say that she was at least 18 years of age. Now, I feel like at that age, you know better. And if you're spewing out that type of racist and homophobic language like that, it's probably just in your heart. And not only are you spewing out that language, you're putting it on social media. So I feel like at that point, you should know better. Now, of course, people can change. And as Stephen A. Smith loves to say, America is the land of second chances. And I don't know, maybe she sees the world differently now. I don't know. I'm not wishing any ill will on her or anything like that. But at the same time, I'm also not about to send her any get well cards either. Does this whole situation mean that she should get fired from her job? I'm not going to say that necessarily. And I'm not going to say that she doesn't deserve to live her life and, make a living so she can take care of herself and, whoever else she needs to take care of, her family. But she definitely deserves all the blowback she's getting because of this. And, whatever opportunities, whether present or in the future, she loses because of those tweets, I feel like she deserves it. Also, she hasn't come out and issued any type of statement or apology about this. So to me, that makes her look really bad because she was really loud about this. I mean, when the video started circulating and, people started talking about it, she made sure to make her presence known on everybody's posts, and people that were posting the video. Hey, that's me. Hey, I fractured my spine. But all of a sudden, these tweets come out. Crickets. I ain't heard nothing from her at all. Like, seriously, I mean, unless I missed it, I don't think she's apologized. She ain't came out and said nothing, ain't tried to do no type of damage control, nothing. So to me, don't expect no sympathy from nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to come out and be so loud at first, and then all of a sudden this comes up, you don't even come out with any type of statement or anything. So now let's flip this story a bit. Let's say hypothetically that she said the same thing, but instead of being 18, she was 14. Now I feel like in this hypothetical scenario, I could give her a little more leeway, not necessarily letting her off the hook, but a little more leeway. Now I would want to get some questions answered though, like, did she have a lot of black friends who were talking like that and using the N-word around her? So she felt like that was okay. Maybe her black friends were okay with her saying it and made her feel empowered or like she was, one of them. And she felt like, okay, well, they're not saying anything, so I'm just going to use it in my day-to-day language. I'm just going to use it in tweets and use it in Facebook posts or whatever. Maybe she listened to a lot of rap and heard that word thrown around and nobody ever taught her that she can't say that and that she shouldn't say that. As far as the Asian and the gay comments, did her parents talk like that? Like, where did she get that influence from? Now, does she still feel that way about Asians and gay people? Once again, it's not an excuse or anything. I'm not saying that she's right in anything she said and that she doesn't deserve whatever she has coming behind this. It's just that, being that young and having those influencers like that, I could see how something like that could equate to bad judgment from somebody that age, to be that young. I mean, think about all the things you were probably doing at 14 or 15 or doing and saying at 14 or 15. I think it's safe to say that you probably are not doing or saying any of those things now that you're older and wiser. Now, I'm not accusing anybody. I'm pretty sure you guys out there weren't, saying the things that Kelly Smiley was saying, but I'm just saying in general, right? That we all were young at some point. We all used to do stupid stuff. We all used to say stupid stuff that we wouldn't even dare repeat now or do now because, we were young. So it doesn't have to be that long ago. I mean, think about when you were 20 years old. Now, it's probably safe to say that you don't do a lot of that same stuff that you were doing back then. You don't do that anymore. People grow, at least they should, and people learn as they get older. So I look back at some of the things I did and I say to myself, like, man, I would never do that now. I mean, the human brain doesn't even stop developing until your mid to late 20s, which is why, the insurance won't give you that discount on your car insurance until you're 25. But on that same note, there has to be a line drawn. Yes, your brain may not have been fully developed yet. And yes, you may be young, but that doesn't give you an excuse to go on, some type of racist tirade on social media or to use homophobic remarks and use gay slurs or to lash out or talk about, a certain group of people. The thing we can learn from this situation is that your past can and it will follow you. What's that saying? It takes a lifetime to build a good reputation, but you can lose it in a minute. I mean, that's so true. How many people have we seen end up in situations like that where you may have known a person for a while and then they do something, split second decision, commit a crime, say something, do something, and their reputation that they built up, it just comes crashing down. So you got to realize that the stuff you put on social media, the things you put on the internet can have an effect on your future. So tread lightly. I mean, even with this podcast, I realized that each one of the episodes are out on the internet forever. So somebody could dig up an episode 20 years from now and try to use something I said against me. Now, of course, they won't find any type of racist tirades or me going off about homophobic people or lashing out at a certain group of people. They won't be able to find anything like that because I don't do that. But I do realize that by doing this and expressing myself, I leave myself vulnerable. So who knows, maybe I put out an episode 2 years ago and I didn't explain myself good enough, or maybe I stumbled over my words a little bit, and maybe I was just a little ignorant at the time, and now I've learned better and now I know better. And somebody could try to dig that up and use that against me. And I understand that could happen, right? So you have to also realize that by posting these things on the internet and social media, you leave yourself vulnerable. I mean, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't post anything or upload any pictures or videos or be social. It's social media. Be social. I'm just saying that you need to be careful, and you got to realize that once you put it up there, it's fair game. A potential employer could find it. You may get into some legal trouble down the line, and they go digging into your social media posts. That may come up in court. You may try to sue somebody, and they use your social media posts to downplay your lawsuit and try to demonize you. So all I'm saying is be careful. You never know, man. I'm not saying that you shouldn't post. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be social. Hey, it's great that we have all this social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, man. It's kind of hard to imagine the world without it at this point. But hey, you just got to be careful and just realize that you make that decision to call yourself going off on the internet or going off on Facebook, going off on Instagram and saying all types of crazy stuff. You got to realize that once it's out there, and it's fair game. So it could potentially get you in trouble, just like Kelly Smiley did. But yeah, folks, that's all I got for you today. Make sure that you drop a comment. Hey, let me know. Do you guys think that there's a such thing as statute of limitations when it comes to social media posts? Is there a definitive number of years? Is there a certain age? Hey, let me know. Drop a comment. Let's talk about it. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and rate the podcast. And don't forget to like/follow all the social media handles in the description, the Facebook page, Instagram page, Twitter page, YouTube page, all that good stuff, man. So I will talk to you guys next time. And as always, count your blessings, not your problems. I'm out. Peace.